Great morning, everybody. It is beautifully sunny here in Manitoulin Island. It is absolutely wonderful. It's Aaron here from Countryside Acres. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll be notified of all our new videos. Today, working on the baler, RB454 round baler. The bearing went out on it last week, 2 weeks ago, perhaps 2 weeks ago, and we're going to go work on that today. It's up here, and I got to take all these shields off in order to get it, or not all these shields, just this shield has to come off, and then I can get at the bearing behind it. So we're working on that now. I got Waylon helping me today up there. He's still getting me a ladder right now, but he's going to come down here and help me and swing some wrenches this morning. I want to get it all ready, get the new bearing put on, get everything greased up, because I will have some baling to do beginning of next week, as well as some more custom mowing. And we could use that income. That's part of our income. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen that, we moved here, Manitoulin Island. We're busy building a house, which is right here, and I'm standing in what will be the shop at some point. We won't get that done this year, but we're doing that. And we've got 200 acres here, and we do custom baling, mowing, wrapping, as well as sell meat and do some construction on the side. So that's how we try to keep ourselves occupied and pay our bills. And so we need this guy running in order to do that. Okay, now the evidence is clear to be seen. Over here, there's a bearing. That's what it should look like. And that's what it looks like. You can see how it just wore right through the side of that bearing. Disastrous. And yeah, well, hopefully we can get that bearing off. Quite often what will happen is you'll have damage to the shaft. I'm really hoping that's not the case, although we can probably weld up, you know, if it's real bad, and then grind it smooth again, fill it up. But it's just harder to get the new bearing to slide over the shaft when you have any kind of burrs on it. So anyway, that's what's going on. And so we're gonna now peel this guy off. Probably is not gonna be much fun. I may just cut it off, and then we'll put a new bearing on it. Here, I'll give you another shot of what we're dealing with. Okay, this is a different one. Hold together, it's in the middle there. And here's literally wore through the side, got thin. Broke a chunk of that off of there, right? Just a mangled mess. We have to hope that the damage isn't too bad on the shaft in here. It looks actually like it's okay, which is shocking. Okay, and then this is our new bearing. Well, that's Waylon. Hi. This is our new bearing right here. And then there's the locking collar that goes with it to hold it all together. So you can see the locking collars here. So it's a matter of taking these two bolts off. Now the trouble is that all the belts are on. Okay, the belts are what help makes the bale, makes it nice and tight. So those belts are fairly tight. So I'll have to lift the rear tailgate up. That'll help loosen it a little bit, and I may end up putting the tractor in somewhere to take the spring tension off, which you can't see right now, but it's on the other side. There's a massive spring that holds, I can't see that either. One of these rollers, anyway. Oh yeah, this guy right here, this arm. That spring pulls that arm down into these belts and makes it tight. So I may end up hooking the tractor up to take the tension off of that. I've done that before, just with the bale spears. I hook it in here. But we'll see how it goes. If it's not too bad, we might be able to just do it right here. Alright, Waylon's spinning those off. I cracked them loose. He can spin those nuts off. And then That's the easy part. That's taking the casing of the bearing off. Then we still got to take the part. So yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with bearings or not. Part of it sits on the shaft, so this inner one sits tight to the shaft. Then you've got a whole bunch of balls all around here, inside here, steel balls. And then you have this cast outer piece. Okay, so the idea is that you can spin this inside one and it rides around on these ball bearings that are all around here. Perfectly beautiful round balls inside of there, and then there's a shot of grease that'll go in through this hole to keep it lubed up. Now, there's a trick to that too, because you put too much grease in, you blow these shields off. This is a dust shield, keeps dirt and debris out. If you put too much grease in there, it expands in there and opens the shield up. Then you end up letting a whole bunch of other stuff into it, which ruins the bearings faster, which may be what happened here. I don't know. It's kind of a trick knowing how much grease to put in. If you don't put enough grease in, then these balls are riding around in there with no lubrication, and it wears out as well. So right now, the outer cast casing is what Waylon's taken off with these two bolts, and that'll slip off relatively easy because all the balls are gone. The inner side one, though, it is tight to the shaft, and quite often they just get rusted and fused together almost, especially now that it's been heated so badly because the outside was damaged. It's going to be real tough to get off. And I may end up just taking a grinder and zipping through to make it easier. We do have pulley puller. The first time that I tried one of these to take them off, actually it's the first year we bought this baler, I had 4 of these go in a row. It had sat at a dealership for a while, and I think that it just collected a lot of rust in these bearings, is my guess. I don't know. We got a good deal on the baler, we bought it, but then I replaced 4 of these bearings. It's very frustrating when you have hay laying in the field and it keeps breaking. So then I did not own a pulley puller. I didn't have that many tools, and we had to go and try to find our own way of doing it, and eventually ended up borrowing a pulley puller from a dealership, and now we own a few, and that makes life a lot simpler to just put the pulley puller on there and pull these things off. Sometimes it still doesn't work though. Like if the shaft is really damaged, then you can still have a hard time, but hopefully today it'll just slip right off. You can see too that it's off center. Okay, this side is very thin, this side is very thick, and that's for the locking collar. The locking collar also has a thick side and a thin side. The center, though, is centered. So when you stick it on the shaft and you spin this guy, right now it'll spin all the way around, but you can see it's wobbling. Once it's on the shaft, it can't wobble. So when you spin it, it actually tightens, and then you tighten the set screw, and that's what holds it all on. Okay, you can try sliding it off of there now. Not that part, the other part. Yeah. It might be too stuck. I might have to lift the tailgate up. Is it going to come off? No. Okay, what if you could push those bolts back in? There's the 2 bolts that you took the nuts off. Just gently push them through. Don't hit them too hard or you'll wreck the threads. Yeah. Are they going in? Hey? Oh, I'll hit them a little harder than that. That's okay. You're not going to damage them like that. Okay, and then if you can pull them out from the back side. Got one? Here, I'll take that. And then pull out the other one. Got it? Okay, now you should be able to just pop that sucker right off of there. Give her a good smack with the hammer. The persuasion stick. Try to smack it up, if you can. Well, hit it upwards. There you go. Yeah. Oh, not that piece. The other piece. Yep, that one.
It's going up.
Is it?
It is kind of going that way.
Still stuck? Oh my, look at all the pieces falling out of there. Okay. What's left up there?
There's this thing and...
Okay, pull whatever you can out of there. Just don't cut your fingers, okay? Is it stuck? We can get it later too, but... Yeah, we'll get that piece after. You did drop some stuff. Oh, you did get it?
Yeah, the other piece is down
Alright,
there.
I'll take that. That's the dust shield. And this is, I don't know what.
That's part of the thing. That
Part of the bearing housing by the looks of it.
Part of the thing that you have.
Alright, folks, this is the great reveal. So that used to look like that. Okay, this is part of the outside of this. Here, all melted. This is the dust shield that I was just pointing out. Okay, that's in here. Oh, I should take this collar off. I guess this is more accurate. And that's that dust shield. Just a mess. Should have caught it earlier, but I didn't. I smelled it, but I didn't notice. I didn't know what it was. I looked a couple times. I couldn't figure it out. Obviously didn't look good enough. So we managed to find one ball bearing. That's one left. They're usually nice and shiny. And then there's, I don't know how many would fit in there, but they go underneath this dust shield in here. Whoop. All around the bearing. So enough to fit all the way around would be. There's only one left of sitting up there by chance. And yep, I got the set screw out now, and I'm going to pull that other locking collar off. I'll keep the set screw. I throw them in my drawer. I have a whole bucket of set screws. Sometimes you need them. I don't like throwing things out that might be useful. This is a pulley puller. I will, right there, I will put that together now and then try to get the rest of this shaft apart. Or the rest of the bearing off of the shaft, I should say. Alright, there's another shot of the shaft. You can see the shaft's actually in remarkable shape. I'm surprised it didn't wear out. Looked a little worn there, but that's just some stuff in the way. Very nice shape. But now I got to get this stuff off. So this is the inner. You can see how that's, point at that for you. You can see how this is grooved out. That's where the bearings would sit in. Okay, that's part of the bearing, and this is the locking collar. Just like on here, locking collar. See how dirty it gets. That's why it's important to have that dust shield from keep stuff from getting in there. So the pulley puller, cool part about that, it's got these octopus arms here. It's really hard to run with one hand. They hook in behind this, okay, and then the center shaft there pushes up against the middle, this, and that'll pull that guy off as I'm turning on the back end of this. Never mind my tuck tape here. Got a bit of a sore wrist here lately, and I wrapped it all up, and in order to keep it all together, we put some tuck tape on. So anyway, I'm going to slide that on there. I don't think I can videotape and work at the same time, so I will just pause that and show you what the shaft looks like after I'm done. Okay, not happy with the way that's sitting. This pulley puller is meant for a much bigger pulley. But anyway, I've got it just kind of hooked on, not very well, so I don't know if it'll work or not. But this is the idea. So you'd spin this, forcing this rod in, which of course the shaft's not going to move, so it's going to then pull this guy off. And that's it. And it saves an enormous amount of grief. Alright, that's better. I switched to a different set of arms. I have other ones, and I put these ones on, and that's giving me a much better hold. You can see it slipped in behind there a lot more comfortably. Try to get this guy off yet. I just got told it's brekkie time, which isn't too far away. We moved the trailer up here now. But hopefully I can get this off a minute first. Okay, got the first one off. That's the locking collar. Now I just got to get the inner part of the bearing off. But I'm going to go eat first. Yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. You can see all the black from the fire. This bearing was, well, I'll show you the bearing in a minute, but it wore right through the bearing. And down underneath you can see the damage down there on that. It's not a big deal. I'm just gonna grind that off, but the bearing was shot, caused a straw fire out in the field. Anyway, I had to make a little cut to get it off. I couldn't quite get it off, but I've got it all ground smooth here. I'm hoping to slip the new bearing on. Okay, so this is what the new bearing looks like. This is what the old bearing looked like. It blew right through the side here, wore it right out. And that's the internal part that I end up cutting to get off. Bearings were all gone. There was one ball left. It's the race. This is the dust cap. Fun, fun, fun. Thankfully I bought some pulley pullers. When I first bought this baler here, I had 4 or 5 of these bearings go in a short amount of time after I bought it. Just probably because it sat still so long in the dealership. And then it's been problem free ever since. But Waylon's helping me today, teaching him and training him. There's the ball bearing right there. So anyway, now I have some pulley pullers. That makes life way simpler. But anyway, it's still up there, and it's kind of a pain. Alright, I got a new bearing back on. I'm not done tightening yet. I got to tighten up the 2 bolts. You can see I've got the forks of the tractor here to lift the shaft up. Sliding the bearing on doesn't take any time at all if you can get the shaft cleaned up nice, which we did. It's cleaning it up that takes a lot of time and getting in there. So I had a real challenge getting in nicely with an angle grinder to grind off everything. I mean, that's what's wore out. That hole down here, that's not supposed to be there. That wore through. Okay, this one's normal, part of it at least, but that's not. So anyway, it is what it is, not a big deal. But we've got her back together here now, and just gotta tighten everything up. But you can see here I nicked some spots as I'm trying to get in with the angle grinder. I accidentally hit the wirings. I'll have to fix that. Not that they worked anyway, but I want them to get them working. And on the inside as well, you know, getting in there, it's a real challenge to get everything ground smooth. I don't want to leave any burrs out because then that's going to catch on my my baler belting, right? So this is still original baler belting from when the baler was new. It's never been changed yet. Something we'll probably be looking into in the next few years if we don't end up trading the baler in. So we'll tighten her all up. I got to get a grease nipple in here. That's what this hole's for. You pull that out of there and you put a grease fitting in there. Pump a couple shots of grease in, and then that job will be done. Hope you enjoyed that. We've got more things to do today yet, but I don't know what else will be on the video, so you'll see this at least.